Before I continue on, I just wanted to say thank you all so much for 5,000 subscribers. While that number may not seem like the biggest milestone to a lot of you, for me, it means everything that now a little over 5,000 of you come to me for my thoughts, whether it's on films, games, TV, whatever the matter is. Thank you all so much. It seriously means the world to me. Now, with all that being said, on to the review. So, Bob Marley One Love is a biopic that for the majority of the time concentrates on a specific part of Bob Marley's life, while it also goes into other parts of Bob Marley's life. But in general, it is a Bob Marley biopic. Alrighty guys, so let's get into Bob Marley One Love.
Excellent!
Also, really quick before I continue on, I do apologize if you hear that in the background. Someone's doing construction in the apartment complex that I'm with my dad, so if you guys hear in the background, I do apologize. There's some construction going on in the background somewhere, so I just want to apologize about that. But anyways, moving on. The two main leads of the film, Kingsley Ben-adir and Lashana Lynch as Bob and Rita Marley, I thought the two of them were really, really good. While I don't think that Kingsley quite embodied Bob Marley, I do think that Kingsley did a very good job of playing Bob Marley in the film. The show stealer of the entire film, though, was Lashana Lynch as Rita Marley. Lashana Lynch has scenes where she absolutely steals it from Kingsley. I mean, Lashana Lynch is so good. Every time they concentrated on Bob Marley making the music specifically for the Exodus record, every one of those scenes was so good. Hearing them come in with the lyrics, hearing them come in with the sound for the album, all those sequences were by far the best scenes in the entire film. And also the way that the concert sequences were shot, they were shot very, very well. There are glimpses throughout this movie of what could have been a great or even a really good Bob Marley biopic.
Well, that's just fucking great!
But this really hurts, guys, because here's the thing. Once again, I feel like I keep saying this, but I have to keep saying it once more before I continue on. When it comes to my taste in music, I am primarily into rock, hard rock, metal, classic music. I'm into some hip-hop, some rap here and there. Reggae was a music genre that I never really got myself into besides, well, one particular artist, and as y'all can imagine, that would be the man himself, Bob Marley. What Bob Marley brought to music and just the way how he composed music, the way how he wrote songs, and the way how he got people to unify together under peace and love. He brought a lot, not just the genre of reggae, but to music, period. This movie had so much potential to be such a great biopic, but man, I have quite a bit to say. While this movie does concentrate, and it should, on Bob Marley and Rita Marley, everybody else that seemed to have been really important to Bob Marley's life and his career don't really get a lot of time and a lot of focus put on them. Like, for example, Bob Marley's manager, the one who put together all of his concerts, the people who were in Bob Marley's band before they record the big Exodus album, you know, the one that Bob Marley, like, I mean, seriously, if you haven't heard the Exodus album, please listen to the record. It's one of the greatest records ever. There's this guitar player that Bob Marley auditions, and you'd think he'd play a pretty vital part in a specific scene, but he really doesn't at all. One of the biggest issues, one of the biggest frustrations about watching this movie was the overall structure of how they told the movie or told the storytelling. While this movie does largely concentrate on a specific area of Bob Marley's life, it also goes into these, I guess, flashback scenarios in Bob Marley's past because of the way how it's edited, and it feels disjointed as a result of it. Like, for example, there's a couple scenes in this movie where it gets somewhere and then it cuts, and then you're just thinking like, wait, where does this fit in the entire thing? And then it cuts again, and you're thinking the exact same thing before it cuts, well, once again. And it does that so much, and because of the movie, not only feels very disjointed, but just the editing altogether was just all over the place. But it also just feels very, very sloppily put together at times. Let's talk about the pace of this movie, because my god, the pacing of this movie was all over the place. There are some sequences where it feels like it's rushing to the finish line, and then there are other sequences that where it just goes so slow and it slogs at a snail's pace, to the point where there are parts where I almost dozed off a couple of times. There is one sequence in particular where I actually mentally checked out of the film, and then a couple of minutes later I checked right back in. Kind of goes to my next thing. Bob Marley One Love, and I hate to say this, and it bums me out saying this, but this movie was actually kind of boring at times. Possibly the biggest issue I have with this movie was that in terms of the emotional core, the emotion of this movie, Bob Marley One Love felt just emotionally distant. That is a huge problem because, well, like I just mentioned y'all earlier, Bob Marley is a guy that brought love, peace, and unity through his music, and at no single point did I feel any of that emotion through this movie. I was expecting a movie to grab me by the heartstrings and have me crying by the end, and literally by the end I was just going like, eh. As this movie was about to get to a very, very important part of Bob Marley's life, it's about to get there, and then all of a sudden it just stops, and I just went, oh, this is gonna be great. Oh. You really wanted to see that. It was just missing so much stuff. There's no love. I didn't feel love watching this movie.
And here we go.
So overall, while it does have two really good, if not great performances, unfortunately, Bob Marley One Love suffers from it being disjointed, poor pacing, but it was also emotionally distant, and it lacked so much heart. All in all, I'm gonna give Bob Marley One Love a 1.5 out of 5, and it hurts to say that because I'm a big Bob Marley fan. This movie should have been so much better, and even if you're a big Bob Marley fan, I can't recommend you see this movie. So comment down below and let me know, what is your favorite Bob Marley song of all time? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I'm also on Twitch. So if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all of the links and the names are in the description below. I hope you enjoyed my review of Bob Marley One Love. If so, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell for my latest review goes live. If you guys want to see my previous two reviews, please click right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I will see you all next time.